Hello, this is the very first episode of Jesus and the Soul. Jesus and the Soul, this channel is going to be dedicated to primarily how Christianity relates to psychology, how Jesus relates to the inner workings of our soul, because psychology means the study of the soul. And we're going to expand beyond that also to talk about relationships with others, with ourselves, and relationships with God. Especially any kind of question that you may have with regard to your relationship with God, um, your mental and emotional experience, or your relationship with people. I'd like you to feel free to ask your questions in the comments, suggest episodes to do along these lines. I'd be happy to address those. Um, Today, as a beginning, I would like to just begin episode one with the discussion of whether psychology and Christianity are compatible. What is the relationship between psychology and Christianity? The viewpoints, of course, span the spectrum of one end of the spectrum is that psychology is of the devil and it's terrible. It's all about the world and self interest. And on the other end of the spectrum is that psychology is the be all and end all, and we don't even need religion, or religion gets in the way. Of course, as it is in many cases, the truth is somewhere in the middle. Um, but I will say quite clearly that psychology in Christianity is absolutely compatible. In fact, they have a clear relationship with each other, which I can describe pretty clearly. By the end of this video, you'll understand what the relationship is. Um, Psychology itself is the study of the soul, as I said. The Greek word for soul is psyche, where we get our word psychology from. Um, the soul has three essential components. There's perception, there's the will, and then there's behavior. That's what the soul is all about. And that's what psychology is all about, is the study of how we perceive, will, and behave. You perceive in many different ways. I won't spend a lot of time on that today, but for now I'm going to be talking about, when I say the word perceive, I mean our thoughts. We have our five senses, our typical way of perceiving, but once that information comes in from the five senses, we use our thoughts as a way of interpreting our experience and creating narrative and beliefs around what we think that we are experiencing. And so thoughts formulate our understanding of how we're living our life. And so I will use thoughts instead of a broad understanding of perception. Psychology is about thoughts, our will, and our behavior. Now, a good analogy to use as how psychology relates to Christianity is that psychology is to Christianity as the engine of a car is to a car. The engine is what makes the car go. It generates the direction that it's going to go. It provides the power for the direction that we're going to go. What drives the human engine is our thoughts, our intentions, and our behaviors. And so those are facts, psychological facts that even the Apostle Paul references and Jesus references. He said we should love God with our heart, soul, and mind, our psychology, in other words. Paul uses a lot of psychological terms in his writings about having the mind of Christ and referring to the condition of our heart and our behaviors. So psychology is just the way that we interact with our world and the way that we interact with ourselves. There's two broad ways that we could use our thoughts, our will, and our behavior. And this is where some of the ideas may come in that Christianity is not compatible with psychology and that psychology is bad, is that if our mind, will, and behavior is oriented toward just mere self-interest, or just following our desires, or caving into our fears, or trying to create an experience where we avoid pain and feel happiness. Yes, if that's all we're using our psychological faculties for, then yes, it's going to lead to our own self-destruction. But if we use our mind, will, and behavior in regard to our union with God, to relate to how we relate to God, to ourselves, and other people, then our psychology is used in a very healthy way. So psychology itself is neutral, it's the engine. But where are we going to drive it is the question. Will it be towards self-interest and self-preservation, or will it be in the direction of love and the kingdom of God? Don't view psychology as an enemy. Psychology is the engine, it's the means by which we choose to live our lives. So thank you so much for listening for this brief first episode of Jesus and the Soul. If you have any questions about episodes that you'd like to see with regard to psychology, please do send those questions in the comments below, and I look forward to further weekly videos.